So every morning when the laborers show up, they have the temperature taken. We ask those prerequisite COVID questions. Have you traveled out of town? Had any exposures? You have a temperature, so on and so forth. They fill out that form and we're good to go. So over the course of the project, especially when COVID was at its highest, we had maybe about 10 laborers on the site that tested positive for COVID, which then resulted in some of those direct contacts to have to be quarantined. None of those positive tests were a result of getting it from somebody here, we don't believe. And all their information, they had been someplace else, may have traveled out of the area. So on site, we also have an EMT that works every day that there's workers on the site. So Mario's our EMT, shows up in the morning at 7 o'clock. He's available here if anyone has a workplace injury, has a concern. If somebody felt that they had a COVID exposure, they would come see Mario and give them appropriate advice. Also, we use that area for safety training. Everybody that comes on site to work here gets a safety training by Gil Bay. These plastic you see here, they will be future glass panels. Windows or decorative, one or the other. We're standing in the emergency room right now. So this entrance here is where ambulances will be bringing patients into the emergency room. Each one of those 3 poles that you see is conduit for plumbing that comes up into an individual room. So those are all exam rooms, all throughout here we see them. Well, a lot of people ask our question about how many beds we have now as compared to what we'll have in the future. So there's 2 things we need to consider. On our operating certificate, we have a number of total beds. And we are building less than that, but we have not been using that number of beds for a very long time. And within the emergency departments, we will have the ability to accommodate 90,000 patient visits a year. And we currently are accommodating less than 80,000. So that gives us enough space within the emergency room to grow that we're at. Each piece of iron had a label on it. And so that label had a couple of things. It had a white painted marker that they wrote on there exactly where in the building it would go. And then there was a barcode. So the guys that were putting the steel up with the crane operators could actually go to a truck and understand with that truck what sequence that steel would be, and then be ready to put it up in order. And each individual steel beam in this project was built for this project. Nothing came off a shelf.
Wow.
It was all made in America. So the parking garage will be right across the street there, and that's a walk-in entrance for the emergency department. People will drive in here, drop off here at the north side of the building, and drop off their loved ones, go into the garage and park. Over on this side, ambulances will come in. There'll be 6 bays coming across the back of the building. Once they unload, there'll be more parking spaces over here for the ambulances that are waiting either to finish their paperwork or their next assignment to park. And then also in long-term care facilities or other residential facilities, drop patients off. They often come with large vans, so they would drop their patient off here and then park their van behind here.